Life's a game. The world's a stage, and we are merely role-players where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this main house production. Here on Merely Role-Players, we improvise stories to entertain ourselves, and also yourselves. And we use role-playing games to keep the story going places even we can't see coming, because, as theatrical people, we want things to be all drama, all the time. This episode is part of our current main house production, Vigil, Gwynned. To create this story, we're playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat. So please take your seats in the main house. Tonight's production is about to begin. Vigil, a Merely Role-Players main house production. Gwynned, Act 2 of 5.
I'm Ellie and I play Peggy Tailor, the Crooked. She's travelled the world for the last 20 years, running impressive cons with her grifter network. The last job, though, it went bad. Real bad. And she's come home to lie low.
I'm Nat, and I play Gwynned, the Divine. Gwyn was once a Shieldmaiden of the triple goddess, the Morrigan. After interfering with one of her schemes by rescuing a mortal man, the Morrigan banished Gwyn to live life as a duck in what became Sherrydown's duck pond. Now released from her curse thousands of years later, Gwyn is trying to forge a new life, but is finding it difficult to stay under the radar.
I'm Vicky, and I play Renko the Flake. Renko is a Doom agent on furlough who was assigned to Sheridan and is now convinced something significant is happening in town.
Hi there, my name's Alexander Pankhurst and I play Graham the Summoned. Graham's just your average accountant, who happens to be a demon, and is destined to bring about the apocalypse.
An ill wind blows through Sheridan. An omen, a plague, a tide of vermin, some of them mutilated.
They're fleeing something.
Something alchemical. You will have started noticing horseshoes nailed over doors. Pulling those strings has led you to stalk Peggy Tailor, who seems to be chasing shadows.
Yeah.
I've got something you want, Peggy, darling.
I have had an encounter with other hunters from the group, so she would have heard about me, and in the context of me being a returning member of the local crime family.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Sheridan?
Yes.
Because Renko did as well, and if they're of a similar age...
So we probably know each other already.
I mean, maybe not well, but I think...
We probably went to school together.
You left town when you were 16.
Yeah. So we probably were at school at the same time.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably supposed to be a couple of years older, but yeah, I think we probably were at school at the same time.
Renko!
Hello, Peggy. What are you doing down this dead end?
It's a very long and boring story. Would you like it?
I guess. I'm always interested in information, so why don't you tell me what's going on here?
Someone I met on my travels, Val, for short, has been in town, and I reckon they're here to cause trouble, but every time I try and chat to them, they just run off.
Is Val in the room with us right now?
Val's someone you'd categorise as complex. She's a weirdo. You know, that kind of weird.
Okay. Are we an immediate threat right now?
It's hard to tell she's here, so I don't know.
Great.
It is daytime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's not a super big threat.
I had wondered if she just figured she turned into a bat.
But she can't. She can't stay time. I feel like at this point Renko is like you know, I'm running through my training of like checking my angles and like I've probably pulled my gun out of its holster, even though I'm obviously not going to use it.
Whereas Peggy's just shrugging, just looking around sort of bemused.
As you check your angles, looking back in the direction that Peggy came from, you know, she's gone sort of down a series of like narrower and narrower streets, like into this warren of residential area. As you look back in that direction that she's come from, sort of back towards the main roads, Renko, you see not any longer a full like tide or swarm, but more rats than you would like to see on a sort of normal street in daytime.
Yep.
And a sort of a passing flock of ratty-looking seagulls also passing over at the same time.
Great.
And just a wave of the smell of rot and like old grease. Like, it smells like a horribly blocked drain.
Ugh.
Just washes over the two of you from that same direction.
Are you seeing and smelling that?
That's awful.
Oh God, that is. Oh, that's horrendous.
Peggy, you can't only smell this.
Uh-oh.
You can see this ill wind blowing through the streets. It's not that there are spirits in it exactly, although like there are some kind of little nature spirits following along with the animals that seem to be sort of fleeing in the same way that they are. But you can also see this wind in a way that suggests that there is like it's almost like sort of seeing like a rainbow sheen to the air, almost like an oil slick in the air. There is like a corrupted magical aura to this wind.
Oh, it's worse news than my nose thinks it is. That's not just a normal bad smell tidal wave of vermin. You know, it's not your run-of-the-mill. I'm afraid there's magic in that.
Oh God, that is. I mean, on many levels, absolutely horrendous news. Because now I feel like I have to go and check it out.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, try and keep yourself out of trouble, I guess.
Thanks.
I'm immediately going to try and investigate where's the smell coming from, where are the animals coming from.
What's Peggy's next priority?
Trying to check Vampire Val's Instagram.
I think as Renko walks away, she's just kind of like glancing back a couple of times and like kind of turns just to sort of see if Peggy's going to do something weird as soon as she's turned her back.
Just looking at my phone.
And she's just looking at her phone.
Like, also sort of slowly meandering in the same direction as Renko.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go. And I'm sort of vaguely interested, but I'm not making any effort to get involved.
Ellie, roll investigate a mystery.
Okay.
I think it's the first time we've investigated a mystery through the medium of Instagram.
Yeah.
I know.
This is plus your sharp.
Yeah, I've got a +2 for sharp.
That 3G is going to work overtime.
Oh, okay, so I've rolled 9, 10, 11.
Amazing. Ask 2 questions.
Where did it go? And what was it going to do?
The latest picture on Vampire Val's Instagram, at VampyVal, is her hand in a big sleeve. She's wearing a big poofy cream blouse with floral print on it. You can see that she's had her nails done nice and big and long and talony. Her fingers are grasping the stem of a glass of Chardonnay. She's tagged the image with the location duck and parsnip. And as you're looking at this photo, she DMs you. You stalking me, babes? And to answer what was it going to do, next message, I've got an offer I think you're going to like.
I'm going to say, sounds good, where shall we meet?
Now that we're talking, I'll stay right here.
Okay, cool, I'm going to head to there then. Which is where I'm living right now.
So you have charge for your phone. If you're staying at the Duck and Parsnip, I was assuming like the Tailors may be one of the people that have a little generator. I suppose if the Duck and Parsnip is still running, they must as well.
Yeah, I imagine so.
People have gone out and got stuff like if you're a business, you're going under if you don't sort out some kind of backup generator.
You can also
have one ready, right?
You can buy phone batteries and get them sent to you from Amazon.
I was going to
like
say,
that.
I bet Peggy's got I reckon she's already running a really lucrative black market on phone batteries.
Probably another reason why Renko's got half an eye on it, really.
Yeah.
And I can also see Jess's parents being the kind of people who are like, right, okay, we have to stay here because our daughter has disappeared, and if she comes back, we have to be here. And also we can offer a refuge as well.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, are they?
Shieldmaiden Gwynned,
Yes.
with one great flap of your wings, you find yourself before one of your followers, Adrienne. In fact, a former colleague from the National Trust team.
Yeah.
Back when you were more incognito.
The big mass of black curls is very much the same, but protruding from it now is sort of half of bone, but a bit wood looking, and then with tendrils of silver coming through are some large cow horns, with a sort of silvery filigree headdress that kind of scoops everything up together. Swathes of black silky fabric. Silk didn't really exist in Celtic times in the UK in that same way, but it's a very soft linen.
The finest linen.
The finest of linens.
Very brushed.
Silken, even if not silk.
Yes. Just swathes of fabric kind of swept up into a banded metal collar situation with sort of Celtic swirly patterns on it, with a mantle of raven feathers, and the sort of corset is not kind of like the waspy corset situation that's like from under bust to above hip, sort of keeping all of these threads of fabric together. And it would be scale mail sort of situation, but it's feathers, not scales. With just the sort of the feel of, basically, I want particle effects of small feathers kind of around at all times. And the wings are still very present and visible and sort of fold down behind her, holding her staff. And she appears before Adrienne. And the words are a little bit weird and uncomfortable because, again, Adrienne used to be my colleague.
Used to be your boss.
My boss, yes. But yeah, as she arrives, "You have summoned me, daughter."
Oh, mother. Sorry. That's the first time I've done that, and it's actually... I'm sorry, I'm a little...
We have heard every word before, but this seems pertinent and important. Please tell me, what did you see and where?
You've landed in a car park.
Great.
So just to sort of
where am I?
slightly undercut the grandeur of the entrance.
There's a Fiat Punto just behind you.
Not a lot of cars here, but you've landed in the car park on the edge of the forest.
I have knowledge of this place.
Yes, you've not actually travelled all that far. So sort of on the edge of town, on the border with the forest, basically where the National Trust's kind of field office porter cabin is, where they stage all of their ventures into the forest proper. It's afternoon shading into evening, so maybe she was either in the office or was just coming to her car to leave for the day. Adrienne herself is a slightly sort of mousy woman, late 30s, early 40s, and she's dressed for work, so she's got a high-vis on, stout boots for tramping through the forest and that kind of thing. And 2 rainbow lanyards, one with her own ID on it and one with your old one on it.
Oh, bless her.
That one's a bit more tucked inside the high-vis, but you know.
I can see it.
I called out, Judith and I both did, we thought it was worthy of your attention, because it's something that might affect the natural world. Creatures, small animals, have been arriving in the forest from town. It seems like maybe they're treating the forest as almost like a refuge. Some of them are badly injured, and so whatever they're running from must be something terrible, and for it to have affected enough, it's rats and it's birds and it's things like that seem to have been affected, but to have affected this many sort of all at once, I don't think this is anything natural. It felt like something that was, this. We thought about pest control, and then we looked at the situation and we thought this is beyond that.
Indeed, it seems so. The Fae will likely tend to them. Do not have worries for our small creature friends. But you did not see the thing they ran from itself.
No, but we had some of the equipment for wildlife surveys around, so we managed to humanely trap some of them so that we could take a good look at them. It looks... do you want to see?
Do you have one here now?
We have a couple of rats and a couple of gulls in the office right now.
I will see them.
She leads you into your old place of work.
Yeah.
Still very familiar.
Has much changed?
No, it still looks pretty much exactly the same. They have a small generator attached to this porter cabin because it wouldn't be able to be wired into the mains. But it looks like they've been very sparing with it. They haven't been running it much. With your mystical senses, you can tell that the National Trust staff here have not been having as much coffee as they're used to. The coffee machine has not been running.
We had a discussion about Gwynned's new godlike powers, and if all three sides are in agreement, things might be a bit easier. Given the National Trust's important place in Sherrydown looking after the forest, and currently their help in this investigation, do you think the other aspects of the Morrigan would consent to me just juicing up their generator a little bit?
I think sort of the default positions of the other two aspects are like the Hearth Mother is pretty aligned with you on most things and wants to help and wants to grant comfort to the community. Whereas the Forest Hag's default position is a bit more like, let them suffer, it'll teach them a lesson, it'll harden them up. So if you wanted to do that, she's the one that you would need to persuade.
Okay, sure.
Make an argument to.
I think the reason behind doing this is not just like, oh, give them a little treat of coffee. It is more, if they are well looked after, they can look after ours better. So my mind goes to the creatures that have fled to the forest and the usefulness of Adrienne and Judith to our court. Is Judith here?
Judith's also here,
yeah,
yes. So Judith is a woman about Adrienne's age, a little bit older, with a strangely shaped nose, which she was not born with, and blue hair.
Yeah. She was the one with the hair. Yeah. Well, greetings, daughter, as I walk in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sort of mentally connect to the other two and try and sort of use that angle to try and convince the Forest Hag. Maybe with a side of leaning into the Fae aspect of, oh, come on, let's do this as a treat and maybe you'll get to change Judith's hair colour again and see if that goes down.
A small favour, you ask, sister. A small favour for you. And perhaps later a small favour for me.
A little bit of fun once the danger is dealt with.
Yes, I like the sound of that. Do as you will, sister.
Great. Then we'll just, as I pass the generator, just kind of touch it and a little bit of nature lightning spark goes. So we'll just refill their generator for them as I walk past.
The lights come on, like it's quite noticeable that the power comes back on in this porter cabin. The lights come on, a couple of like instruments and things suddenly whir into life. The coffee machine reboots itself.
To help you keep prepared for whatever is to come.
Thank you. Here are the creatures.
Yeah, let me look at them.
Give us a roll to investigate a mystery.
Great. No way I can do this with tough, huh?
Sadly, I don't think so.
7, it's plus sharp, isn't it, for this? 8 total.
Okay, one question.
Okay, so by looking at the little creatures, I mean, what happened here feels like the answer to that would be whatever this thing is can kind of devour flesh. Is there a way to, by looking at these creatures, determine what part of town they used to hang out in? Like, is there something to do with, like, can I see any threads to where their nests would be? So where have they run from? Because that might give me an indication of where this thing is.
So you can actually look at these creatures and kind of read them in a numinous and godlike way and kind of understand their origin and that kind of thing. You can also probably talk to them if you want
that's
to.
A good point. I would like to shapeshift into a rat.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so we'll just turn to her and say, let me in. And the feathers fold and she kind of turns into a rat.
Oh, I see. I presume a black rat.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Very well. And she opens up the trap and lets you go in.
Greetings, friends. I am sorry to see you in this situation.
The rats sort of almost like go into a little bow, like they bend their front legs.
Oh, please, that is not necessary. I let the humans do it because they're actually giving us help. But you don't need to. It's fine.
Will you kill it?
I will do my best. What did you see?
It was everywhere. It was everything. The ground we walked on.
Where did you come from?
From the abundance place. The place of much food. The place of much sustenance.
The shopping mall?
Gwyn, being a rat, speaking rat, understands instinctively that when they talk of a place of like abundant sustenance, they're talking
Bins.
about the tip.
Right.
Oh,
yes,
I thought you were going to say the bins are on the back of the subway.
Popular meeting spot.
Yeah, I mean, it is a place of some abundance, but not the place of abundance with a capital T and A.
Does Graham know about the tip?
Probably.
In fact, there's 2 rats in here, both actually in states of injury. Like both of them have at least one leg has been skeletonized. And the fur around that patch is kind of like discoloured and burned as if dunked in something corrosive. One of them says, yeah, we came from the place of abundance, and you know that means the tip. Mm-hmm. And the other one says, no, the dark place, the under place, the safe haven place. And Gwyn knows that this means the sewers.
Was this creature, this abomination that you escaped from, was it in the place of the abundance, or was it from the safe place?
Both say yes.
Ah, interesting. Neither places I particularly like to hang out in, but fair enough. Very well.
Will you kill it?
Make the abundance place safe again.
The Morrigan is on the job. What are your names?
I was called Fleetfoot, but he raises like the remains of one of the feet. I was. Maybe my name will change. And the other one says, and my name was Longtail. And you see most of his tail's been burned away.
Do not worry, children. You shall be fleet of foot and long of tail again, I promise. I would like to step out of the cage, return to myself. Do I risk laying on hands the rats? I might take the harm myself.
But what a massive win, generally, for these two rats out of many hundreds.
Can this generate some kind of kinship with the rat community that could be...
Maybe we can help turn the tide.
Yeah.
How high up are these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know?
Are they rat royalty?
Yeah.
Are they celebs?
Are they
influencers?
Are they rat kings?
Yeah. Oh no. If I were to go lay on hands, can one roll apply to both?
Yeah.
Okay, God.
Just right. I'm gonna heal these rats.
Okay.
Hopefully, even if it goes wrong, it will tell me something about the magic that is keeping this thing.
True. Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's a 10 total. She's got her quarterstaff there, and she just kind of swishes it about a little, and they just are healed.
Longtail once more! Fleetfoot once more!
Seek out your brethren that have escaped into the woods. Tell them to seek out Briar's Tree. There will be people there that can help the rest of you.
Briar's Tree. Done. Got it. We will. Let us out of this cage! Let us out! Let us out!
Well, to Adrian, you can let them go now.
Yes, very well. Of course, if you say so. And she picks up the cages and bustles out of the office, ready to go and like go a bit deeper into the forest to let them out.
That message about Briar's Tree would have been in like squeakity, squeakity, squeakity. Because Adrian and Judith have been to Briar's Tree, but do they remember it now?
No, because if you already forgot something before the emission effect went away, you wouldn't remember it. It's not like the memories were suppressed. People fully forgot stuff. It's just like anything since the emission effect went on the fritz, people remember that now.
Yeah.
So that was too long ago, unfortunately.
Fine.
Or fortunately.
If you now told them about
they
they'd retain the information and go, oh, maybe that explains why my nose looks like this now.
Yeah.
But they still won't actually remember the experience.
Sure. In that case, we'll, as I'm about to leave, we'll say, you should be safe here. However, If you see any sign that whatever this creature is heading this way, if you actually feel yourselves in imminent danger, there is the great tree in the centre of the forest. Make your way towards there, although keep an eye out. Take some heed when you do.
Keep an eye out, take some heed is the order of the day these days. That's kind of how we're all living our lives.
I am sorry.
Maybe it'll blow over. Hey, look, things are getting better now that you're here.
We appreciate the work that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Renko, you emerge from a side street onto Main Street and see Graham heading in the same direction you are, sort of going against the tide of the last few stragglers of these creatures.
Hi, Graham.
Renko, lovely to see you. Are you heading in the same direction?
I mean, I was thinking that all of these creatures have probably come from the local tip, and the smell maybe also, so I was going to head there to kind of check it out.
Ah, the place of abundance, yes. Onwards!
As the two of you start to make your way, you hear an engine behind you, the sound of a vehicle coming along the street. You can hear the sort of the rumble of a vehicle on the cobbles of what is normally a pedestrianised street. Coming up, sort of drawing close to you, is a minibus. Standing up out of the sunroof of the minibus with a megaphone is local Tory councillor Jack Mangrove.
This guy again.
Who Renko is familiar with from her time as a pretend council employee. You can see there's about 5 or 6 people already in the minibus. At the wheel of the minibus is Harold Longridge, the child safety officer of Sheridan Primary, with his big mane of beard and hair. And Jack Mangrove is out the top of the minibus with his megaphone. He's easily close enough not to need the megaphone, but still speaks through it. Join the clean-up effort. Join the clean-up crew. This has gone far enough. It's time to clean up our town. Join our crew.
I think Graham is going to attempt to stop Jack Mangrove because he knows that their attempts are probably going to be 1, futile, and 2, dangerous to themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to take, as the minivan, because the minivan's sort of like just driving up past us at the moment.
They've slowed down to sort of see if they can recruit you on the way.
Yeah. I'm going to try and cast magic to stop the minibus.
Very good.
Renko supports this action.
So yeah, I'm gonna.
So Graham takes a drag of his cigarette.
Yeah, it takes a drag of his cigarette and blows it in the direction of the minibus. Let's see what happens when I'm going to use magic. It's +2. That is a.
Wouch.
Not what I wanted.
So that's what, 3 on the dice +2.
It's a mighty 5.
Okay, even if Renko helps, you still can't get to a success of any kind.
I'm going to use luck.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
As if a plague of rats and flies wasn't already apocalyptic, we're now going to get a genuine sign of the apocalypse.
And they are coming thick and fast, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So that's fine. So one of the signs of the apocalypse, which I think is actually plague.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think
you want to just take ownership of this.
Yeah. So actually, it's kind of my fault.
Oh God! So when the followers of the Morrigan are praying, saying, "Tell us whether or not this is a sign of the apocalypse."
Yeah,
it is.
It is now.
Morrigan maybe doesn't know this yet, but it fully is a sign of the apocalypse.
Well, this is why I was wondering if it might have been connected to Beelzebub, because that feels like a very demony, devilly.
Yeah,
the imagery is
the
all
flies
there.
definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe the flies are intensifying.
As Graham casts magic, some of the flies that are part of this plague are in the same way as Gwynned's got her feather particle effects. Graham is acquiring like a cloak of flies.
Oh, Graham.
Perhaps even a crown of flies, like a halo of them.
He's just going to blow the smoke over the van. The flies are going to start swirling in a horrible halo around his little head. And the smoke is going to seep into the engine. And you're just going to hear this as the engine just stops.
Jack Mangrove loses his footing and falls down through the sunroof. back into the minibus, loses his grip on the megaphone, and it bounces off the roof of the minibus and onto the cobbles at your feet.
I'm going to pick that up.
And you can hear somebody inside, like, struggling with the minibus door. As part of your magic, can they get the door open or not?
Oh, they're not trapped in the minibus.
It just doesn't work.
I just think that we will be able to get there quicker, and they need to now stop to fix the van.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to trap them in the bus. I was just trying to stop the thing that was getting them there quicker.
They slide the door of the minibus open and start to tumble out. Harold gets out the driver's door and goes, I think I know what's up. I've had to jump a few cars in the last couple of weeks. Let me get the bonnet open and I'll sort it out. He gets the bonnet open and starts to bustle with that. Jack Mangrove spills out, along with Charlton Abbott, the lollipop man, Toby, the estate agent, Ronnie and Polly, the teens from the library, and former Mayor Jackie Danbrook also spills out of the...
Jackie.
Jack just starts kind of trying to rally his troops and go, we'll manage. Harold, yes, you try and get the minibus going. Does anybody else have access to a vehicle? Anybody else able to get us to the tip? A couple of them sort of notice you, but are you hanging around at all, the two of you, or are you just continuing to march?
No, I'm going to get in the minibus and just start driving.
Great. Yeah, so you and Renko question mark?
Oh, I'm just climbing in,
are able to just pop into the minibus and floor it on Market Street. You leave Market Street behind, you're off the cobbles, and you're approaching the edge of town, because, you know, like most tips, it's not really like within the city limits. No. That wouldn't be lovely for anybody. Nobody wants to live near it. As you reach those those town limits, you're off the cobbles, you're sort of approaching the bypass that would take you around to the next town over. You see, in the direction you're heading towards, you can just about start to see like the hazy air over the tip in the distance. But between you and the tip, there's more movement. At that ground level, like the carpet of rats, but not this time a tide of many creatures moving together. Something more liquid is flowing across the ground from the direction of the tip towards town.
Shall we just drive through that, or shall we stop just before? What's your recommendation on that?
Yeah, I'm slightly concerned that it might do us some damage if we interact with it. So maybe we should stop at a safe distance and try and check it out from there. I'm just thinking about the animals that we saw coming through.
Yes.
Many of them injured.
Many of them burned.
Yeah.
The ground between you and it's still far enough away that it's difficult to make out exactly what you're looking at, just that there is this sort of liquid movement across the ground. But the ground is not even. There are places you could stop that are like higher ground if you're thinking of it as like a flood arriving.
Okay, in which case, yes, I'm going to basically park up on a slightly higher area so that we can take a look and get out and see what we can see.
Yeah.
One or both of you, this would be an appropriate time if you would like to roll Read a Bad Situation.
Yeah.
You've got quite good sharp, haven't
yes.
you? Would it wise for you to
Maybe
read
I'll
bad?
read this bad situation.
Yeah.
You don't want to use your newfound zero, do you?
No, I mean, much as I think it might help, it won't.
Yeah, let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, here we go. That is a 10.
Full success, you get 3 questions from Read a Bad Situation.
Yep.
Now that you're getting a better view of what you're looking at here.
I think we'll first ask what's the biggest threat. I think we'll want to understand how big how wary of the what we can currently see we should be.
You stop on kind of a knoll, get out of the minibus, survey the situation. You can kind of use the digital zoom on your phone a little bit to get a better look at what you're looking at, if you have any battery left. Basically, you're seeing the tip is coming to town. Like a tide of damp paper and card, food waste, all the way up to like sofas and fridges and like the bulky waste stuff in a sort of sea. The biggest threat, though, is looking beyond this, so you can see kind of the full form of this thing. It's just this like flat, spread out blob of icky gunk with chunks of actual rubbish in it. But you can see beyond it towards the tip, and you can see that all the grass and the asphalt of the road that it has passed across is dead.
Yeah.
It's as if acid burned. So all of the grass is discoloured and dead. Where it's passed over roadway, it looks like it's kind of been etched, like acid etched. It's even gone through some of those like metal road barriers that go down the middle of the dual carriageway. Ooh. And you can see that the metal is melted where it's passed through.
So we'll not be touching that. Okay. Great.
All right, lovies. It's me, Matt, your compere. I hope you enjoyed Vigil, Gwynned, Act 2 of 5. There will now be an interval of 2 weeks before we raise the curtain once again for Act 3. In the meantime, a little bit of trivia. Did you know that the town of Sherrydown, where we set our Vigil story, is named as a reference to J. Sheridan Le Fanu, author of Carmilla, which is widely thought to be the first novel to feature a vampire. And if you're looking for something to listen to in the interval between Acts 2 and 3, the people behind Regarding Dracula, the podcast that gives you Dracula in real time, have adapted Carmilla into an audio drama, which is releasing right now on the Regarding Dracula podcast feed. There'll be a link to that in the show notes. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's a strong recommend from me. But before you jump off to go and listen to Regarding Carmilla, here come the credits and the epilogue. This has been Vigil, a main house production from Merely Role Players. It stars Ellie Pitkin as Peggy Tailor, Natalie Winter as Gwynned, Alexander Pankhurst as Graham, and Vicky as Renko, with Ellen Gould as Jess Butterworth. I'm Matt Boothman and I play the supporting cast. Editing and sound design are by me, and the theme music is by Alexander Pankhurst. We were playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat Productions. You can find Monster of the Week at genericgames.co.nz. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on.
This next card is going to be my role in all of this.
Oh, phew, heats off me for a bit.
Yeah, I can look at myself too, I suppose. So, draw and turn.
Kit turns the top card of the deck, looks at it, doesn't show it to Jess yet, looks from the card to Jess, back to the card, and falls backwards off his stool in fits and peals of laughter. In the midst of all of this, flicks the card with one finger and it flutters and lands on the table next to the King of Wands, and Jess sees that it is the Fool upright.
Oh, piss off!
Kit's laughter dies down. He stays sort of on his back on the floor in like a Roman recline, but tries to compose himself, sort of realises that was not very tactful behaviour. Looks back at Jess looking at the Fool.
If you've quite finished, could
Sorry.
you join me back at the table, please?
He gets to his knees, gets back on his stool. Sorry, but you have to admit it was just too good.
Jess's cheeks are kind of blazing. She's like, I'm glad you found that so very funny, she says, as the bells in her hair jingle.
As Kit takes his seat again, the bells on his own outfit jingle, and he sort of looks down at his own motley and at the card and at Jess, and recognises that maybe this isn't only about her. I suppose now you're going to tell me that actually the fool doesn't represent foolishness or anything like that anyway.
Well, he does a bit. Okay? Like, so the fool is folly, and he's naivety, but he's not just that, okay? Look, he also represents the start of a journey. You know, in great stories when they step out the door and they have no idea the awful things that are going to happen or the challenges they're going to face. They're fools, right? They're innocent, naive people. And it's an opportunity, the fool, to grow. And look, Kit, all right. The thing is, I don't want to be seen as a fool. I want to be taken seriously. My God, like, I don't want people to laugh at me. That's the whole point of this, all from the beginning. Nobody ever took me seriously in Sheridan. Ever. The more that I've wanted to be taken seriously, the more likely it is that I make stupid decisions, and I don't think, and I do whatever you tell me to do. And that isn't all your fault.
But they all saw you as this. And obviously you would kick against that. I would. We're the same that way. Did you think I saw you like this?
Not at first, no. But I've worried, you know, with everything that's happened. That I was an idiot. That I was gullible.
Jess, I might have treated you as a means to an end, but I never saw you as a fool. I never saw you as an idiot or a dupe.
I'm glad. Really glad to hear that. But I think this is about how I see myself too. I can't keep going on like this, wanting everybody to like me so much that I don't care what I do or whether they're my decisions or not. Like, it's stupid. It is foolish. I might as well be in bloody motley the whole time. I need to know my own strength, and I need to know my own goals and my heart, and it can't be that I just do whatever I think you want or my friends want. I need some power of my own.
Why do you think when I returned to England from Fairyland the first time and I was disembodied and looking for that person to lean on, did we ever talk about why you?
Not really.
What did you assume?
I thought it was right place, right time. I was bored and I had resentments and itching to have adventures, and you tapped into that, and I knew you liked me. I hoped you liked me.
See, this is why you're a fool. Jess, you're a fool if you think you've got nothing more than that to offer. You said you needed strength of your own. You've got it, mate. That's why I came to you and not anybody else in that stupid town.
Just gives him a very flat look.
I wouldn't have chosen just any stick, Jess.
Oh, for God's sake.
Look, we're supposed to be using the cards to have this
Can you
talk.
say staff? Staff, maybe? A little bit grand. Some twig on the floor.
Look, I've got self-esteem. I am the king of wands.
I know.
I chose myself a mighty wand.
But, okay. And Jess is trying not to smile. it's like fighting it, like really enjoying the flattery, but I don't know what you mean, but I appreciate it, Kit.
The fool doesn't know themselves. I don't think I can show you. I think you have to find it.
Oh, good.
But maybe it helps if I tell you something's there to find.
Oh, I have to go on a journey of self-discovery.
Or you have to do what this person on the card's doing. Step right off this cliff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say prance about like an idiot.
You could do that too if you want.
All right. So, I need to take a leap off a cliff. Do I have to wear motley?
Do you have any other clothes available to you right now in this place?
Not right now, no, I suppose not, no. Okay. Thanks, Kit. I really appreciate what you said.
What's her handle, by the way? Is it at Vampire Val?
I think that was already taken.
Oh, no.
I think it's at Vampire Val Chardonnay.
I thought it was going to be a series of numbers at the end. Like her year of birth, and it would be like 1461 or something.
No, she's quite modern. She was sired by accident.
Of course she was.
Van Pal could be. Like, is that Val? Vampire Val?
Yeah.
Your pal Val.
You are. Your pal Val.
Oh, yeah.
Ew, yeah. Whatever it is, it's bad.
Oh, no, actually, I know what it is. It's Vampy Val.
Vampy Val. Oh, God.
Oh,
she wears a lot of leopard print.
Yes.
We are
neutral.
I think we are going to need to mock up an Instagram for Val to put on the social media.
I mean, it's just Alison Steadman and Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I want the bio and the links.
Oh, yes, please.
Foggy outline. Undivide your world.